This recording provides an overview of the additional features and options available to an ESS user with the Sub Coordinator role. All ESS users by default are granted the user role. For more information on the options available to all users, please review the user role recording in the newsletter. This video, though, will focus on the additional menu options available for those standard users who are granted the additional role of Sub Coordinator. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as the Sub Coordinator. And again, if I'm unsure of the roles that I have, down at the bottom here in the left-hand corner, I can click on my name and click on Profile, and the roles will be provided here. And Brandy has the user by default and also the substitute coordinator role. So along with the standard user options, the sub coordinator menu option will be the additional menu option a sub coordinator will see. So we're going to click on this one first. And what we're going to see here is a grid. And this grid is automatically refreshed every 5 minutes. And it keeps, in order to keep up to date with the leave requests that have been marked with a substitute needed. So this grid is going to include all leave requests that have been marked with a substitute needed. And obviously for the purpose of the sub coordinator to go into these with them and enter the substitute information. So like I said, every 5 minutes it will refresh with any additional new requests that have come in that have been marked with substitute needed. So you can go in and filter the row, the leave request by using the filter row here. You can go in and click on the more column to add or remove columns to your grid. And so another thing that should be noted is that the district can configure the ability for specific leave types to require a substitute. So what happens is, let's say, for example, the district has set up a configuration option in ESS where they require for sick leave that substitute needed is required. And so what happens then is when that user creates a leave request for sick leave, the substitute needed box will be selected or will be checked by default when the user creates that leave request. So otherwise, if it isn't configured by the district to be required for certain leave requests, what happens then is the user can then manually select the substitute needed checkbox if they do need a substitute for that day. So just looking at the grid here, lots of good information on here. Obviously, it has first and last name and the position, the start and stop date of that leave request that they created, the length of the request, what type of category is it? So personal leave and the approval status. So like I said, this isn't just initiated new ones. It's going to display all leave requests. Even after you submitted or entered in the substitute information, those requests will stay on the grid. And it's more just a benefit for you to see where those are currently at. If it was an approved leave request that you entered the substitute information and you want to go back a few days later and look at that leave request, you still can. It will still be on here. And what it will denote then is if you entered in substitute information, substitute scheduled will be checked at that point. So, and that's another thing that you can filter on as well, is just finding those leave requests where a substitute hasn't been scheduled. So let's go in and talk about how a sub coordinator will go in and enter in the substitute information on a leave request. So I'm just going to resort this here, and I'm going to sort it by the most recent one that came in, and that was Susan Dean. So again, this one hasn't been approved yet. It is initiated. but I do have the information needed for the sub. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit this. So by going in and editing here, I can see the full details of the leave request, the leave request detail information, the daily details, and the approval trail. So in this one, what I need to do is I noticed here that there is some information that is showing as a kind of a gray shade here. And so these are fields that I can enter in the substitute information. Now you notice I can't just go in and start changing a leave date or the total time requested. Sub coordinator, I only have access to these specific fields. So I'm going to go ahead and I put information in here. Now you'll note too that up here in the substitute comments, this is substitute information that the person that created the leave request entered in. So they're just sharing maybe some helpful information for the sub coordinator saying, Joan Fry can substitute for me that morning. Here's her phone number. So this would be good information for the sub coordinator where they could call up Joan and see if that she can fill in for this person on that day. And if that's the case and Joan can, then what the sub coordinator is going to do is enter in her information and put her first name in and her last name. And then from here, if she has any, if she wants to put the phone number, it's already up here. But if she wants to put that in here again, she can. And then at this point, then if she, confirmed that she is going to sub that day, then the sub coordinator can check the substitute schedule. And at that point, then click on save to make those changes. And then when I look at Susan's updated leave request on the grid, you'll notice now that the substitute schedule changed from an X to a check, noting that the sub was scheduled, and here is the sub information. So like I said, once the sub is entered in here, it's not going to be removed from the screen. It will just get updated throughout the approval process. That way, like I said, the sub coordinator could go back and take a look and see where the progress is on that leave request. So it's easy to go in and do a filter on has the sub been scheduled, and these are all of the ones where the substitute hasn't been scheduled. So the filtering row is pretty powerful here, where the sub coordinator can filter on down to see and pick on a specific leave request that needs to be filled out. Just a side note as well, if I pick on the professional leave requests here, and I just view this one, it does have a print leave expense form here. So if the leave expense information is filled out down below, I just an FYI that you can go and print a leave expense form in PDF format if need be. One other additional menu option that a sub coordinator role has is under leave requests and under view district leave, this will appear as an option. And this additional option is available just for you to see detailed leave requests for anyone in the district by clicking on the icon. So you'll notice when we were in sub coordinator, it would be for those needing a sub. But under view district leave, it's for all district staff, regardless if they need a sub or not. So again, you can add or remove columns here. So if you do want to add some information about substitute, you can add that and that will show in here. And so you'll either, and then you could filter by that and say, okay, just show me the ones that need a sub. and that you can filter there and just show those, or I can X out of there to see all district leave requests. So just a couple other things that you're seeing on the grid here. So if configured by the district as the sub-coordinator, you can edit the expense leave area of a user's initiated, approved, or exported professional leave request. So I'm going to pick on just the professional ones here. And then you'll see here that I can go in and edit these. And if I go in, let's say, and I'm just going to click on this top one here and edit it. Obviously, it's only going to allow me to edit again the information in gray, and allow me to go in and make any changes that need to be done regarding their leave request expense information. Also, if I cancel out of here and I go and look at this, I can also print the leave expense form in here. And one other thing on the grid, and I'll exit out of the professional, is you are going to see underneath here that the sub-coordinator does have the ability to go in and cancel a user's initiated or approved leave request. And that's usually in the case if the leave request is no longer needed or it must be canceled due to the inability to schedule a substitute. So they do have, the sub-coordinator does have the ability to go in and cancel any initiated or approved if need be, just by using the cancel option. This wraps up the additional menu options available to a sub-coordinator in ESS. If you have any questions, please reach out to your ITC for further assistance. Thank you.